I've got to be one of the edgiest people on the internet. I'm so positive about everything. If I don't like something, then shock, horror, I simply don't play it. I don't get all hung up on ranting about it. But this causes problems because it's kind of cool to be cynical. Conspiracies. Say something good about a new game? Clearly pay to say it. And so on. One of the solutions would be for me to constantly shout out that I'm not like this. But that just makes me sound guiltier, doesn't it? A bit like going on a date with someone and repeatedly reassuring them that you're not going to murder them. Don't do that, by the way. I guess it helps that I tend to wait for reviews before buying a game, meaning that I avoid things like that game about Sky that was out recently. But because of this, my first-hand knowledge of games tends to be limited to mainstream titles like the Skyrims and Deus Exes of the world, rather than some unknown Korean flash-based arcade game that nobody's heard of. Mostly because probably I haven't heard of it either, and also because I don't want to spend my precious time trawling through rubbish in the hope of finding something good. But as luck would have it, I recently played Mr.President, which conveniently kills two birds with one stone, since firstly, it's a small indie game, and secondly, it's a pile of crap that I'm somewhat ashamed to have on my Steam list. It's not really a title that I get for myself, but my friend kindly got it for my birthday not long ago as a bit of a joke. Because why else would he get it? This means this title got the honour of being played by me on a special day. That's premium Philip time, and I spent it on this load of rubbish. But it was in 4K, so it could have been worse. I'm pretty sure that if you've been watching this video that you'll already have a good grasp of what it's about. It's as simple as it looks. You play as a bodyguard and have to thwart assassination attempts on Mr. Rump. Hey, that sounds funny like that guy who's running for president. What are the chances? If you haven't figured it out already, then this is a quick cash grab that's piggybacking on the current political climate. There's no way that a game like this could stand on its own 2 feet otherwise, so it's effectively a funny 10-second joke that somebody bothered spending months to make. I try to avoid political stuff as much as I can. I spent that Brexit voting day shitting on the toilet, and yet even that seemed more productive than the time I spent with this pile of crap. It's infuriating, and I hate myself for giving it as much of my valuable time as I did. 44 minutes of it! Admittedly, there's a certain degree of satisfaction to glitching out on a table leg and flying across the level, saving Rump at the last moment in a ludicrous yet strangely heroic manner. But only because you know you're one level closer to completing this title and never having to do it again. I don't even know why I'm giving the game the analysis I'm about to, since I don't think the developer bothered. Each level is elaborately set up to be completed in one specific, pre-planned route. Any attempts to find imaginative alternatives are quashed by strict time constraints and infuriating obstacles that mess with your player's movement. That's the real enemy, not the traps and assassins, but your character's movement, which is just looking for any opportunity to glitch out and to send your character hurling face first onto the ground. I'm hoping that this is intentional, as it's the game's main selling feature. I mean, either this game was a sloppy mess by an incompetent developer, or a lazy quickie from someone hoping to make a fast buck. Whatever the reason, it doesn't encourage me to give them my money. Or time. Which combined, we did. So you don't have to. It's got all the telltale signs of a cheap game made in Unity. Yes, it's 3D, but movement feels weightless and airy. Yes, it's got next-gen DMM physics. But this also feels weightless and airy. At least they got Trump's wig right. But I guess it does what it says. It doesn't claim to be a No Man's Sky. Just a quick little joke that you can prank your friends with if you have any opinions about Donald Trump. And let's face it, who doesn't? I'm not sure what the game developers think of him. I mean, you spend the game trying to save him, but at the same time, more often than not he dies, normally because the bodyguard you control would rather copulate with a nearby oil drum than take a bullet for his master. But once again, who wouldn't? Just look at it. Shiny. The campaign takes you through numerous scenarios. There's a Chinese factory, interrogation camps, wars in Mexico, and all of the cliches that could come with it. Admittedly, they all have a certain theme to them, but the difficulty is so inconsistent. Some levels are next to impossible, where the only way to beat them is to seemingly glitch out more than you're supposed to, and then the next one will just be a case of holding down the run key to win. The real question is how many levels you'll bother to go through before encountering a particularly nasty one and giving up. At some point before the end, you've got to throw your hands up, accept that enough is enough, and then go back to browsing dank internet memes again. You know what? I kind of wish that this title had failed. For the developer's sake as much as anything. I mean, if your crowning achievement in life is a cash grab like Mr. President, then there has to be a moment where you question what you're doing. Why bother making a good game when this can get more success? I understand why it did, but as a game developer, you don't want to be remembered for making intentionally bad games, right? I hope the developer puts the money he made from this to good use. I hope that it funds a successful game-making journey. I really do. The fact that a portion of the proceeds goes to charity shows that he at least feels slightly guilty about releasing this hunk of trash. But this wasn't ever intended to be a proper, fun game. It's a statement that was in the right place at the right time. And you probably understand that. You've simply got to ask yourself if it's a joke you're willing to take seriously enough to first buy and then to play. I'm not going to dramatically say that it ruined my life or killed my family. It's just a thing that has consumed almost 45 minutes of my life. At least I'll remember it. Maybe when I'm 70 I'll nostalgically joke with my friend about it. I don't know. I've said enough about this game already. It's better than losing a loved one. It's not as much fun as an episode of South Park. I'd rate it about 1 on the Schmidt Pain Index scale, and as a game I'd generously give it 2 out of 10. But only because it's got physics. You know what? I take it back. Being horrible about a game is harder than being positive. Nothing's forcing me to play this game. The Clintons don't have a gun to my head. Honest. I kind of feel that the joke is on me for taking this joke game seriously. Scott Reviewer snookered. If you downvoted, then clearly you didn't get the joke. This game's 5 out of 7. Totally worth it. 360 no-scope content. LOL! Seriously though, it's just a bad game. But it's not really a disappointment since it didn't ever have much potential in the first place. But it's not worth investing time or money into it, even for the sake of being ironic. Back to good games for me.